Today I'm bringing you 5 tips and tricks for completing Dead in the Water, the first raid inside of Vault 94. I'm going to try and avoid any big spoilers in this video, but there will obviously be footage from the vault, so if you want to go in completely fresh, stop watching now. Before you even step into Vault 94, you'll want to get yourself prepared. You'll need to stock up on any chems you use frequently, especially stimpaks, which I was using in huge numbers during the raid. In between attempts and inside of the vault itself, I was crafting stimpaks so that I had enough to both heal with and revive the rest of my team whenever they went down. You'll also want to make sure your weapons and armour are at max condition. Use Weapon Artisan and Fix It Good when repairing these in order to increase their condition, as you really don't want them breaking during the raid. Additionally, the actual weapons you want to be using should have really high DPS. You're not going to get anywhere with a basic 10mm pistol, but an explosive handmade rifle served me fairly well. Finally, you want to check your perks are set up to maximise both your damage output and survivability. Perk cards like Chemist and Super Duper aren't going to help you in the middle of a fight, so check your loadout before you head to the vault. You don't want to be starting the raid with the wrong perks equipped. Although it is technically possible to complete the raid on solo, at least on Novice, you ideally want people with you to watch your back. As vault raids are instanced, you will need your team to all be formed before you enter the vault itself. Nobody new can help you out after you've started the mission, so get your friends all hanging out at the vault exterior and make sure they're actually in the team before heading inside. Of course, you don't just want to choose any old teammates. Everyone is really going to need to be above level 50 and reasonable in a fight. The vault is dangerous, so having players who can't kill a single ghoul obviously won't help. What may arguably be more important though is having a team who can communicate well with others. The vault can be a bit of a maze and has several time-dependent tasks, even when not on the timed modes, meaning you all need to be able to work with each other effectively to get through the vault. Having somebody with all OP gear is nice, but if they refuse to speak with you and communicate any information, then you're going to have a hard time of it still. If you don't already have friends that you can team up with in-game, then feel free to join my Discord server, which has hundreds of players on all 3 platforms, as well as voice chat rooms for you to communicate with each other. There will be a link to that in the description below. As I mentioned in the previous tip, the vault itself can be a bit of a maze at times. If you don't know where certain rooms are and where the next quest trigger is, then you may well end up walking around in circles. When I streamed this event, I was constantly getting lost and not knowing where the next button was. When I joined Kader for his stream immediately afterwards, I was giving him a guided tour of the entire vault. The more times you go through the vault, the better you will know where everything is. For this reason, I'd also heavily recommend starting out on Novice difficulty. Standard and Expert both have strict time limits attached to them, but Novice lets you go through at your own pace, finding where everything is without having to sprint around like a headless chicken. There tends to be points during the raid where you stop getting swarmed by enemies, and can just take things in. Use these times to learn where the various vault rooms are. There are signs for the rooms which will help you during the first few attempts, but after a while you'll want to be as familiar with the vault layout as you are with your own home. Within the vault, the main 2 types of enemies you will face are Mirelurks and ghouls. For this reason, you're going to want your perks, equipment and combat style to be designed to tackle these enemies. Ghoul Slayers and Exterminator legendaries will have a significant advantage inside of the vault. Likewise, the Exterminator perk card will allow you to ignore armour from Mirelurks. Both of these enemies also have their own strengths and weaknesses in combat. Standard Mirelurks have hard shells, which can make them tricky to deal with if you're a melee user, but much easier if you're at range with a gun. Ghouls, on the other hand, can be rendered nearly helpless by blasting their legs off. To use that old proverb, know your enemy and you need not fear the result of 100 battles. Know how these enemies fight and you're going to have a much easier time killing them all off. My final tip is to prepare for a lot of RADS. In the first run I did of the vault, my team and I were having to rely heavily on Radaway to stay alive, almost as much as actual healing items. You'll swim through irradiated water, be hit with rad damage by enemies, and stand by environmental objects which radiate radiation itself. RADS can be a serious problem within the vault, so on our second attempt, I made sure to share the Rad Sponge perk card, which did a great job of dealing with the near constant build-up of radiation. You can also use RADX to reduce the amount of rads you take, although this will suppress mutations, so try and get some rad shield as well if you're a mutant. If you're a bloodied build, you may struggle a little with this raid. With the huge hordes of enemies and near constant radiation build-up, you're going to stay at real high damage, but also likely to be going down a lot, requiring your teammates to use up a lot of stim packs reviving you. Remember that if everyone goes down, the mission fails, so make sure those rads aren't giving the enemy an easy time of things. And those are my quick tips to help you get through Vault 94 Raid, Dead in the Water. Do let me know if you would like a full walkthrough for this mission, as I'm happy to make one if there's enough interest. If you have any tips of your own, then leave them in the comments, and give this video a like if you found it helpful. If you're not already, do make sure to subscribe and click the notification bell, as not only does it mean you'll be notified when I post a new video, but I also heard a rumour that it can make puppies smile, and who doesn't want to do that? Anyway, that's all from me for now. As always, thanks for watching. Sarge out.